Hello people. Today we're going to talk about the removal and installation of a Remington thumb safety. This one in particular is a Remington 870, of course, but there's no less than a dozen models made by Remington that use this exact same assembly, the same parts, the same thumb safety, detent ball, spring, and cross pin. And we're going to talk about how to take that assembly out of the trigger plate. First thing we need to do is remove these two trigger pins. And we're going to do that with this tool right here that I've made. It's a multi-tool. And I also put the Remington folding stock on here to demonstrate that you don't need to remove the pistol grip to remove the trigger group. There it is. Very simple. And you don't need to remove the barrel or bolt either. I just did that to make this easier to maneuver on my stage because it's very small here. So here we have the assemblies right here, and first I'll describe with the trigger assembly pointed down range. When you see this hole offset to the right, you know this is for a right-handed shooter. If the hole was offset to the left, it would be for a left-handed shooter. So you can't just turn the thumb safety around, or at least the factory thumb safety. There might be an aftermarket thumb safety that operates like that, but the Remington thumb safety and most aftermarket thumb safeties won't operate like that. If you want right-handed versus left-hand, you have to have the appropriate trigger group to accommodate that. Now, just looking at this right now, it's obvious that this spring was not installed properly. You shouldn't see the spring up top like that. You should see the pin crossing over the spring. So it's clear that this cross pin went through the spring, and that's why it's operating real softly. It works. It just doesn't operate like it's supposed to. So let's take this apart. And we're going to use my multi-tool here and drift this pin out. And then we use our dental tool to pull the spring out. Yeah, look at that. They've damaged the spring. Whoever put this together last really damaged that spring, and that's why it was so soft, which would make it easy to put it on safe or off safe too easily. Now there's a ball detent down in there. There's our ball detent. So we got those three parts, and then the thumb safety comes out. So there's our thumb safety. So if you're a right-handed shooter and you have a right-handed trigger group, you want the red stripe of the thumb safety to be on the left-hand side when reinstalling. Now I'm going to show you this real quick. This here is the original factory detent from the 50s and 60s. This is not used anymore. They use a ball bearing, a ball detent. But just to let you know, if you have this style detent, you can easily eliminate this and use the ball detent. Or if the post on this is broken, you can just continue to use this little nubby detent. It doesn't matter if your post is broken or not. All that matters is that it's pushing down into the safety and allowing it to cam back and forth like that. Alright, let's put it back together. And we're not using this old one. I just wanted to show you that. We're going to use the modern ball detent. Now, because I was aware of this problem, I went out and bought a brand new spring. And sometimes they can be hard to find. I found this one online for under $10. I thought that was a deal, and it came with an extra ball detent, so I bought it. All right, now we're going to use my tool here to push in on the spring, and I'll show you the head of the tool. See how I cut away one wall and then into the center so that the head of this pin can get started drifting through. But because it's angled like that, the spring is going to want to push this pin out. I can't get the pin in far enough really, but I can get it in enough to get it over the spring. But you have to keep constant pressure on it when you pull the tool out, or you'll lose it. We want the pin to go over the spring. There it is. So there you see how the pin has drifted over the spring and not through it. And now we've got a lot more positive on-off on the safety. So let's get her back in the trigger group. Now when you're pushing the trigger group back in, you want to make sure that the pin bushings, or the smaller pin bushing, that you don't have a problem with the larger one, but the smaller one seems to drift a little bit. So just make sure it's centered. And then push down on the action bar lock. And now you're in, and then just center up the holes. There it is. Thanks for watching, people. Make it a great day.